So I'm going to be talking about the virtues of Medina because you might have performed Umrah or you might be going for Hajj this year. So I want to talk about the virtues of Medina. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions, they were being persecuted in Mecca, and living there had become difficult because of the harm that the disbelievers were causing the Muslims. So the Prophet ﷺ began to look for places where Muslims could go and practice their religion, and eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the land of that time that was occupied by the Ansar called Yathrib and later known as Medina. In the city of Medina, it became a place of revelation where Iman returns. The Muhajirin met the Ansar. It's the capital of the Muslim. Is a place that is a beacon of light, the Nur and the Hidayat of guidance, and land where the Prophet ﷺ made hijrah and lived for the rest of his life, and died there and was buried there. The city of Medina, Allah has honoured the city and He has placed many virtues, and He has made it the best plot of land in the earth after Mecca. We know this because the Prophet ﷺ, when the disbelievers forced him out of Mecca and made hijrah to Al-Madinah, the Prophet ﷺ was turning back looking at Mecca. He said that indeed by Allah, you're the best land in the sight of Allah, the most beloved land to Allah. If it was not for the fact that I was not pushed out of the land, I would have stayed here. And this shows that Mecca is a blessed city and a virtuous city. So now I'm going to be talking about the virtues of Medina, but it's really important to sort of get the ground setting and understanding the background of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, which is further described in the Seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. And so the virtues of Medina, it will increase your love. Knowing the virtues of Medina will increase your love for the city. It will encourage you to visit the city, inshallah, and through it will increase our iman. The fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it a haram, made it sacred, a safe and secure place just like Mecca, is sacred because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in a hadith which is reported by Muslim. He said that Ibrahim alayhi salam made Mecca sacred, and I have made Al-Madinah sacred. And there's no evidence to show that any other land holds any type of sacredness than Mecca and Medina. There's only two harameen, there's no third, there's only two. During our times, Medina has become larger to the extent that the area that is considered to be the haram, Medina has gone past it. We don't say that every single area is al-haram, rather that which is within the boundaries of the haram is the haram. Those outside the boundaries is not part of the haram. And those who visit, they will see structures that are placed around Medina, so you know the boundaries of haram. The Prophet ﷺ named it Tayba and Taba. In fact, there's a narration in Sahih Muslim that Allah called it Taba. The word Tayba and Taba come from the word Tayyib. This is to indicate the goodness. This land of Al-Madinah, because it has an abundance of goodness. Iman returns to Medina. The Prophet ﷺ said, indeed, Iman returns to Medina. This hadith in Sahih Bukhari, apologies. This means that Iman is in Al-Madinah and it comes back to Al-Madinah, and the Muslims are pushed towards Al-Madinah. You have this love for this area of land. When they come there, you feel that Iman. When they leave, you're attracted to the area and you are saddened by leaving it. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to be patient with the difficulties somebody might have. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Medina is better for them if only they knew. The Prophet ﷺ said these words when people were thinking of moving out of Medina. So those that were moving out, he says that Medina is better for them if only they knew. They wanted to move out so they could face less difficulties and seeking rizq and wealth and sustenance. But the Prophet is encouraging us to remain patient and to stay in Medina because it's better for them. If only they understood the wisdom behind it, but the Prophet ﷺ is saying that Medina is better for them if only they knew it. That nobody leaves Medina out of the fact that they don't want to stay there, but that Allah will replace that person with something better. He said nobody remains in Al-Madinah and the difficulties and face the difficulties except that will intercede for him. And this is mentioned in Sahih Muslim. This shows the great virtue of being patient and of Al-Madinah. This is only for this land. If someone lives or resides or settles in Medina, this hadith should encourage you to stay there. If you stay out of the love of Medina, even when you have the opportunity to leave, the Prophet ﷺ will intercede. This means that if their bad deeds outweigh their good deeds, in brink of going hell, the Prophet ﷺ will ask Allah for your sake to enter Jannah. From the virtues of Al-Madinah, the Prophet ﷺ, he spoke about the dangers of innovating in Al-Madinah, and I've spoke about this in the Aqidah series, the dangers of innovations, bid'ah in Islam, and not doing something that is not part of the religion. The Prophet ﷺ said, that Al-Madinah is a haram which is sacred, and whoever innovates in there, or they protect an innovator, upon them will be the curse of Allah, the angels, and the whole of mankind, and his deeds will be accepted. And this is in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, showing its degree of authenticity. If you do it in the home of the Prophet ﷺ, it is bad, but and elsewhere is bad. Medina is a city of the Sunnah, the place where the people of the Sunnah reside. This is where I'm going to conclude the video for today, but I'm going to be coming back with the next part, inshallah, talking about more virtues of Medina. So it will encourage us to sort of go to Medina and go Mecca to perform Umrah, and inshallah may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to have the opportunity of performing Umrah in these blessed lands. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone an opportunity to perform Hajj. Ameen. I leave you here fi amanillah. Wa sallallahu wa baraka ala nabina Muhammad. Astaghfirullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.